I'd just like to say good evening, and I hope you're all having a good evening out there. Mr. President, Chairman, honoured guests, Old Almondburians, it is a great privilege for me to address you this evening on behalf of the school. Looking across the room, it is encouraging to see so many people who, as ex-pupils and friends of King James's, demonstrate their long-standing relationship with the school by attending these annual gatherings. As well as celebrating the past, I also believe that these occasions give us all the opportunity to meet with old friends, catch up on all the news and reflect on school's achievements, as well as having a good meal thrown in. In particular, I would like to talk about the performance of the teachers as seen by the pupils. Heading this roll of honour, it has to be Mr. Bush, as a key supporter and possibly the only supporter of Lincoln City Football Club. I understand that they're as good as Jessup, his sports house, losing all the time. As some of you may know, the school is losing another old friend this year, Mr. Jack Taylor, who is head of Fenny and a practising sportsman. Somebody told me recently that Mr. Taylor likes to point out that in his day he had to use textbooks for protection as shin pads had not been invented. Picture this, Mr. Taylor running alongside Marcus Stewart, a town player, going for the opening goal with exercise books sticking out of his socks. I am sure he will continue his active lifestyle in his retirement. By the way, I have it in good authority that Huddersfield Town are always on the lookout for good players. But they are not that desperate, sorry Mr. Taylor. Competition. Healthy competition has always played an important part in the school life at King James's. I would not say that winning events was important, but I do remember a time when Mr. Raleigh, overcome with emotion and pride, threw himself fully clothed into the Cambridge Road swimming pool when Sidon won the swimming gala. I suppose he had to have his one and only moment of glory, as we all know it won't be happening again. Mr. Raleigh is always saying how good and super Sidon are. So why is it that they always finish last every year? On the subject of Mr. Raleigh, I wouldn't say that he was bald, but I've seen melons with more hair on them. I think this year we won't be getting you a hairbrush for Christmas, Mr. Raleigh. A can of Mr. Sheen Shine and a duster should do the trick. I do not want everybody to think that the school's only interest is the promotion of sports. Foreign languages play an important role. Last year's European evening allowed Mr. Taylor, Mr. Redfern and Mr. Watkins the opportunity to display their talents in public by performing the can-can. Now I know that dress codes for teachers have been in the news recently, and as a progressive school it has been said that King James's is ahead of its time, but I think that pink frilly knickers is taking things a bit too far, don't you chaps? By the way, it was a super show, and we're all looking for a repeat performance, and we can't wait to see those legs again. Many of our teachers and pupils are involved in events that raise money for the school. Miss Melling, the school cook, the home economics teacher, spent a great deal of her time with Mrs. Rushbet arranging the school's raffle, and no, Mr. Gatenpish, she is not paid for making buns. Mr. Gatenby has always been a fine sport when it comes to fundraising. I do recall a time when he shaved off half his moustache, the other half still contained more hair than on Mr. Raleigh's head. sure that I'm not a bimbo, here is a serious bit, and don't fall asleep. Former pupils will be interested to know about the recreation of the library. This is no longer housed in the big, which is now an English room. Instead of it being relocated in room 20, which was built originally as an art room. In those days, of course, there were clear views of fields behind the school. The new reference library will include an internet terminal through which pupils can link by email with their partner school, Cosmortier, at Saint-Dizier in France. This exciting development has been made possible by the Trust Fund, but the school has been supported by some European funds and by local education authority. The new library complements and completes the creation last year of the Information Technology Suite in the loft above the end rooms, which were built in 1939. The new library will be formally opened by Mr Barry Sherman, MP for Almondbury, on the 13th of December. The internet terminal is in many ways an extension with our long-standing French exchange with Saint-Dizier. On another serious note, Mr Bush's retirement last year created a gap in the school. He was a great asset and still is. Everyone enjoyed his company now and then. Not only was he a tremendous teacher, educating pupils in all sorts of ways, he was a gaze master for Jessup, and most importantly, the deputy head of King James's School. I have a lot of admiration for Mr Bush, as I'm sure we all have. His contribution to the school will remain a long time after he has left. Mr Taylor will always be remembered for his effective teaching methods. "Hey, what's the matter with you?" is a phrase that he used regularly, and I can guarantee that all his pupils know what a stomata is. On another sad note, we will also see the departure of Mr Jack Taylor, who, like Mr Bush, was and will always be a great asset and influence to the school. I would like to take this opportunity to put our hands together and give these gentlemen a round of applause. In conclusion, I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening, and for those of you who can't recall it for any particular reason, there will be a video available on your way out. Thank you.